Hi everyone, Melissa here. In today's video, I have a really awesome success story, and it's all about persisting and not giving up on yourself. And really breaking down a super stubborn pattern. So I think this video will really help you. Before I get into the story, I just want to remind you, we're still giving away a free course, How to Find Your Blocks, Manifest Anything Fast. You can find the link for that in the description of this video. Okay, so this client came to me really struggling with money. This client had a decades-old terrible money story from when she was a child, really. Always thinking that money was hard to get and it was a real struggle and there was never enough, living paycheck to paycheck. Never being able to afford anything. Every time a bill came, it was really stressful. I mean, this client had a lot of bad habits about money too. You know, every single day, the first thing they did was check their bank account balance to see how much wasn't in there. Every single day, they were, constantly thinking, how am I going to pay this? I really want to do this, but I can't go. They were getting disappointed because they would have to turn down invitations from friends for dinner and things because they just decided it's not in my budget. That was a very common phrase from this client all the time. This person would say, it's not in my budget. It's not in my budget. I can't afford it. And so this story had roots. I mean, she was telling this from a very young age. There were some beliefs that her parents instilled upon her. Money's hard to get. It's always really tight. We pinch every penny. We have to save things, so she really was in a lack of money mindset. Okay. So what we did was, first of all, we identified all of that stuff, all that story, dragging her down, dragging her financial success down. Okay. So that was the first place we started, was just noticing all those thoughts that don't match being abundant with money and having a huge cash flow. And, so we started talking about all those, and she didn't even notice like some of the actions she was taking in the 3D in her physical reality that were driven by a lack mentality, that were driven by her need to constantly try to find ways to get money to her. She was constantly trying to manipulate her circumstances. Like, what can I sell to make some money? Maybe I need to get another job. Maybe I can borrow some money. Like, she was constantly trying to come up with ideas for how to get money and not even noticing that that's coming from a lack mindset. That's coming from the unwanted story of I never have enough, right? Because when you have enough, you're not looking for 2, 3, 4 extra jobs. You're not seeing who you can borrow money from. You're not trying to sell things that you own. You're not trying to see, where money can come from. You don't worry about that because you just know the money's already there. The money's already always there. So you don't feel like or even have the thoughts to do those activities in the 3D. And this applies to anything. This could be an SP, third party situation. If you find that you are constantly trying to find ways to solve for your manifestation, to solve your quote problem, then that's you focusing on your problem. That's you focusing on what you don't want. So if you're actively seeking solutions in your physical world for what you don't like, you got to stop yourself, rewind, and redirect your thoughts and start assuming that what you like is true now instead. Okay. So that was a big aha moment for her, is just noticing the things she was doing in the 3D that really were contrary to her desired manifestation, which was having tons of money in the bank, being financially secure, not having to worry about being able to afford things. Okay, so now on to the good part. So we really started telling this new story. I gave her a bunch of affirmations to start changing it around. She did some scripting to really embody the story that this is who I am now. This is how my finances are now. This is how money is for me now in my life. And when I tell you that this client was really stuck in her old story, I mean, we would talk one day and then she would be super empowered. I was Abdullah slamming the door. No, this isn't true anymore. This is what's true instead. And then the next day she would book with me, a session with me, and tell me all about how she had negative money in her bank account. And then we would get on track of the story and we get on top of it and be like, no, this is where you go when your mind goes there. This is where you go when you catch yourself doing things that don't match what you want. And then 2 days would go by and here was another session with this client telling me how broke she was. So she really had to identify when she was stuck in that familiar unwanted pattern and immediately stop it in its tracks. You know, the way you break the pattern is you notice and you change your thoughts. You notice and you change your thoughts. You notice and you change your thoughts. And the more you do that, the less you're going to notice you need to change your thoughts. And that's how you know your new story is what's becoming your new thought pattern, which is what equals you getting it in your experience, in your reality, right? Your circumstances match where your most dominant focus lies. Okay, so we went back and forth for quite a bit because her dominant story was a big time story of lack and no money. And she was holding on to that story, you know? I mean, at one point I remember having the conversation, like, what's it going to take for you to let go of that? Why are you still holding on to that? And actually I did a video about that topic. I'll link it in to this one. I think it was the last video I did, but you know, what story are you gripping so tightly to right now? And if it's the one you don't want, stop it. Why are you doing that to yourself? You know? Okay, so on to the best part. Okay, so she really focused on her new story. And one morning she woke up and she had messages from someone she never met before, someone who found her through a referral of somebody else. And they were offering her a side job to do for a few months for some extra immediate cash. Money she had no idea that she could have never expected this money to come in. This person just reached out to her out of the blue. And now she has this new lucrative side hustle. Okay, so that was the first thing that showed up. Then, you know, the momentum had started with that new story. That's a manifestation of money always comes to me. People love giving me money. I have a constant cash flow, etc. Okay, opportunities are always falling in my lap. Okay, so that was the first success. Then later that same day, she had remembered that she had this fund from a previous job, and it was a different kind of retirement fund. And she completely forgot about this money. I mean, she hadn't remembered this money in years. Okay, so she thought, wow, I wonder if I have money in there still. I wonder how much is in there. I wonder, you know, what are the circumstances where I could maybe withdraw it early, or just at all. So she reached out to the company, and long story short, she had money in that account and she was able to immediately withdraw it. And so now she has thousands and thousands and thousands in the bank, which was also one of her affirmations. I always have thousands in the bank. Okay, I have thousands in savings. But look how that played out. She didn't even know that money existed when she was in her lack mentality. She completely forgot about it. It was not visible to her because she was not identifying with a story that meant she had lots of money available. But as soon as she started shifting her mindset, that realization that account existed, that long lost account, popped into her mind. And now immediately, like that happened in less than 24 hours. I mean, she had to work at really changing her thought pattern, really catching herself when she was in that lack story. But the manifestations for it, super, super quick. You know, nothing has to take a long time. It really is just how fast can you convince yourself of the new truth? And when you first start out telling your new story, your new affirmations, you're not going to believe them. You know, it's pretty rare that you believe them at first. Totally normal, totally okay. The more you say them, the more they're going to feel true for you. That's when your stuff's going to show up in your 3D. That's when your manifestations are on the other side of that. So I really wanted to share this story because, man, this client had a really stubborn, unwanted thought pattern, and it had been in her life for decades. And it did not take decades to clean it up. It did not take decades to change it. It just took diligence. It took mental discipline. It took persistence In spite of all the contrary circumstances, she kept going back to, no, I always have more than enough. I can afford everything I want or need. I never have to stress about money again. I never have to worry that I don't have it again because my bank account is overflowing. I have thousands in the bank. People love giving me money. You know, that was her rampage. That was her news story. She had like 2 or 3 affirmations that she would have, you know, memorized. And so when she was out and about and maybe paying for something and feeling bad, no, I don't feel bad anymore because I always can afford everything I want. Okay. So that's what I would like to suggest to you. You know, make up 1 or 2 affirmations that match your new desired truth. And you use those anytime you catch yourself trying to fix that problem in the 3D, trying to take actions to fix it. Because instead of taking action here, the only action you ever have to take is here. And then the circumstances will flow to you that match your desire. And they will seem like they would have happened anyway. And they will seem perfect for you. And they will work out perfectly because it's all coming from you, through you, for you. Okay? So to this client, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. It took a lot of door slamming, but you did it. You did it. And you can do it again. And you can keep doing it. And you can keep manifesting beautiful things and more money into your life. So go for it. Everybody watching this, I intend this helped you. It gets you motivated, gets you pumped up. You know, you can change your circumstances so quick. All you have to do is stick to your new story. Okay? And if you need help identifying where you're slipping with your wanted story, where you're slipping off your mental diet, if you need help with your specific circumstances, I have some awesome courses that are available on money, health, self-concept, etc. You can find that link in the description of this video. And I'm also available for one-on-one coaching. Okay? I intend this video helped you. I intend you have an amazing rest of your week. And I'll see you in the next one.